All right, guys. So the reason why I call this the $100,000 framework is not that it's just some random number that sounds good, but from my experience, if you want to get to that six figures in sales using Google Ads, you kind of need to follow that framework for Shopify, for dropshipping. And of course, not every single time, but with those clients of mine where we hit that mark, I can really tell that this is the framework that we use pretty much any case. Of course, always some variations of it, but using multiple ad products that Google has to offer is normally the best way, because at some point you will always hit a plateau with one of the existing products that you're currently using. So this being said, guys, the Google Ads $100,000 framework starts with, and you already guessed it probably, Google Shopping Ads. Now, why Google Shopping Ads? You might think, of course, because it's the lowest hanging fruit. So within all ad products that Google has to offer, or maybe even like all the ad products out there, in my opinion, for e-commerce, the lowest hanging fruit out there is Google Shopping, because you see the prices of products, or your customers see the price of your product, they see the image, they see the title, they see the shipping information, and if they still decide to click, the conversion rates are through the roof, right? If you do them the right way, if you set up your everything correctly, conversion rates are normally the highest in shopping. So it always makes sense that if you start to use Google Ads, you should start with Google Shopping if you have an e-commerce business. And this is always what we do whenever I work with an e-commerce business, but also for my own. We start at shopping ads and then see what happens, and based on that we go to the next phases. And the important first step within shopping is that you shouldn't test too many products at once. So don't test too many products. This is one of the huge mistakes, and whenever a campaign does very, very good, it's because we have put in focus. So I know that many people who have like 300 products in their store, they go ahead and they want to test all of them at once because it's so convenient with Google Shopping, and they test all of it, and it's like, let's test 300 products at once, and then one product gets 5 clicks, the other one 3, the other one 10, the other one 0. And the problem here is, of course, you won't be able to really see the statistically significant results. And that's the big problem. So I recommend that you start with 10 to 25 products, depending on your budget. So if you have hundreds of dollars per day, of course you can test more than that. But if you have the typical $10, $20 per day budget, you should stick with somewhere within that range, and then eliminate those that are not getting any clicks or any impressions, and then start at adding new ones. But that you have this continuously dynamically moving thing going on in your campaign, so that you can always be sure that you are having a very well structured campaign. And the next thing here is very similar actually, and this is to always optimize your feed at the product level. And this is a very, very common mistake that I see. People want to get started ASAP, and they have their feed, but they just copy and paste it from Shopify, and they don't actually adapt it to Google Shopping. But the requirements from Shopify and Google Shopping are actually entirely different. On Shopify, you try to convince people to buy, whereas on Shopping, you're actually trying to convince people to click. And this means that you should give them an entirely different set of information, like, more specific about the product, more about the features, more about the general properties of your product, and not really that sales language, that sales copy that you use within Shopify. So optimize your feed at the product level, have the best picture possible, put in keywords, right? So you have to do SEO with your shopping ads, at least to the degree that you add like your main keyword for your product in the title and description, but also similar keywords that you want to rank for, put them in the title or description, and make sure that people can find you, because obviously these people will not be able to find you by keywords that you defined as on Google search. And the third step here is that you need to cut losers early. So whenever you see a product that gets like 100 clicks without any sale, you have to cut it. When you see a product that gets 75 or 50 clicks without a sale, you should always be a little suspicious, and probably even decrease the bid a little bit, or see what you can do, but keep an eye on these products that get over 50 clicks without making a sale. Now, cutting losers early is always a little bit difficult, because you can never know if a product is a loser until you really get a lot of clicks. But at some point you have to draw the line, and you have to say, okay, if I get to this point without a sale, I will stop. And this is something where you just have to discipline yourself. Maybe you will lose some of the sales, but it's better than running it forever and not getting any sales in the long run. So normally, like I said, 100 clicks without a sale, I will cut it, because people have enough information up front to know whether they like the product. And even with 50 clicks without a sale, you might think about cutting it. Also, check your search term report. So whenever you trigger Google Shopping ads, when people trigger your ads, make sure that they were looking for the right thing, right? So if people were looking for a product, but it was totally different than yours, make sure that you exclude it, because normally these keywords will not be able to give you good business results in the long run. So make sure that you do all that. Scale winners. So once you cut the losers, at the same time, of course, you have to scale the winners, which means that these products that give you a good click-through rate, a good conversion rate, good sales, profits, put them into individual campaigns and make sure that they are scaled properly so that they can make up for all your losers and of course give you some money on top of that. But you can also identify losers at those products that get very, very low click-through rates, because normally it's super hard to make good long-term profits with a product that only has like a 0.2% click-through rate, simply because your click prices will always be pretty high. And from my experience, it is super difficult to get a product from like 0.2% CTR on shopping to like 4%, because you cannot do that many things in order to improve that. So this being said, once you did all that, you slowly graduate to the second part of the framework, and this is Google search ads. So the majority of people are probably using Google Shopping ads only these days, but it's definitely important that you also have a look at search. And there are two situations where you want to go with search ads. And the first one is that you maxed out the potential of shopping. So when you maxed out shopping potential, or basically when you max out the shopping potential, when you have enough sales already on shopping, like you cannot scale it anymore, or when you try a different angle, like when you want to bring traffic to your store with a lead magnet, or when you want to advertise a specific event within your store, like a new collection or something, then you can of course always use search. You're not bound to use Google Shopping only, but these are normally the two occasions where I will change, or where I will go to search. Now, if the budget is higher, if you have at least like $50 or something to spend per day, you can of course start with both of these at the same time. But with a low budget, I would focus on one of them first, and this is normally shopping, and then go along with search at the same time. So within search, you would start with the best performing keywords. So take the best performing keywords from shopping. Basically, when you look at the search term report of your shopping campaigns, you will see which of the keywords gave you the highest amount of clicks, click-through rate, sales, etc. And you will take these keywords and you will put them in the search campaign, and you will then use the keywords from the search campaign to scale even further, because now you will use variations of the keyword, now you will add some things to it, but you use the keywords that worked best for you previously, you put them in the search campaign and you scale them, right? So you add more search volume to it. And at the same time, you also split test individual ads, because you are now in search, which means generally your conversion rates should be lower and people do not know exactly what you have to offer up front, but you want to make sure that you have the highest possible click-through rate so that you pay less and that you show up more often. So split test at least 2 different ads, but you may also test 3 to 4, and make sure that you use entirely different messages in each of these ads. So if one of your ads is about, get our 50% discount and get this and that and, save a lot of money, then the other ad should be about the features of your products or the benefits. And the third one should talk about something entirely different. The point is, don't use 3 ads that are very similar, like save 50%, and then the next one is 50% off our site-wide sale, and the third one is save money in our store, right? They are too similar. They are probably not making that much of a difference. Instead, use very, very general, very, very broad, very different tests in order to make sure that you always get the most out of your tests and get the highest click-through rate. And the third one then is to use different combinations and try basically new keywords, which means that if you have first of all, you use the keywords that were proven to have the best results from shopping already. After you mix them out as well, you can come up with different combinations. Like you can come up with informational queries, for example. So instead of only using like where to buy a drone or buy a drone online, you might go for keywords like the best cheap drone, or drones for photographers, or how to fly a drone. And you might even go ahead and, for example, write a blog post or something about that topic and then link people back to your store. It's not like a typical sales query like, buy a drone right now, but it's something that is normally cheaper to bid on, and you can use that tactic to get people back to your store and, educate people, get more sale, get a higher search volume, and get new angles and new keywords that normally you would leave on the table. But again, this is something that you should try after you tested it with the most promising ones, so shopping and the best performing keywords. So after you did that, you can then also test other combinations and try new keywords, always to look for more volume to scale up. And then the last one is Google Display and YouTube. And this is now basically the highest hanging fruit if you want, and it's for scaling. So first of all, why is it for scaling? I don't recommend to start with, because you will need a high budget. If you want to use Google Display Ads efficiently and also YouTube, you need to test a lot. So you need to test creatives, you need to test placements, you need to test your audience, and this requires a budget. So you cannot get a super successful display campaign with only $50. It's hardly possible at all. But once you made some sales with the other two, you can go into Display and YouTube, because this is where all the scale takes place, right? If you think about it like that, the people on shopping and search were already looking for your product. So these are the customers that are easiest, or the people that are easiest to convert into customers. Now with Display and YouTube, there are people who are not actively looking for your products, and you have to educate them about your products and tell them about it. So this is about educating potential customers. Whereas on 1 and 2, people were actively looking for your stuff. Now in Display, you have to educate them, which means you have a way bigger audience. If, for example, 100,000 people per month are looking for your product and searching it, there might still be 15 million who are potentially interested, who you need to educate with like good ads and send them to your page and through a funnel and things like that. But of course, it takes more money, and you also have to be willing to spend a little more to acquire a customer normally, because they have to go through these different stages. So the reason why it's a high budget, of course, is because I said testing, and if you use YouTube videos, you also may have to spend on YouTube video ads, which is not always that easy to create, because you want them to look good and to convert well. So this is why Display is normally not that easy to use and not that beginner friendly, because you can burn through a lot of budget very quickly. But if you went with the other two successfully, you will definitely be able to get some kind of traction with number 3 if you do it correctly. So if you apply the right frameworks, if you test the right placements, if you know how to strategically do all that, because this is very important. But when you do that, you can get to the totally new customer bases, where you can then find the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million people that are potentially interested. Not all of them will be customers in the end, of course, but then you are doing similar things like on Facebook, where you are actually trying to convert people that fit into your ideal customer avatar, but they're not actively looking for your product yet. So guys, this was the $100,000 Google Ads framework. I hope that it's helped you. As I said, it was pretty strategic. Like, we're not getting into the details of every single one, like, how to best implement the setup of the products and what exactly to do in the feed optimization, and how to research the best keywords and things like that. These were all topics that I cover in my Google AdWords, Google Ads training. Now they changed the name. In my Google Ads training, the eCom PPC Academy, that you check in the description. But still, I think this provides a lot of value for you to actually use it in your own business, and of course, to your own store. So guys, I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please leave a like and please subscribe for more e-commerce, Google Ads, Google Shopping content, so that you learn how to apply all these things to your business and how to really scale your business with Google Ads. And yeah, thanks for watching. I really hope that you like this video. As I said, please check out my training if you want to truly master Google Ads, and I will hopefully see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.